We here with Johni Demeatri. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys so much for having me. Happy Sunday. Praise the Lord.
For sure that. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
Johnny, how you feeling, man? It's been a minute.
I know, man. I'm so busy right now just trying to make a way for myself, making new plans and new platforms and things like that. But I can never get too busy for my bro Jay. I remember we always talk about this. I would never forget you came to my house, bro. Yeah. So like, man, never ever too busy. I appreciate y'all for making time for me too, because I know this platform is booming.
I was definitely gonna bring that up. I promise you, I wish I still had access to my interviews when I really jumped out on my own.
Yeah,
I wish I had, because I definitely came to your crib
for sure.
You ain't know me. I could have been a killer.
Yeah.
But hey, man, yes. we definitely chopped it up. It was a great conversation, a great interview. You feel me? And we've been building there since.
Since, man. Thank you.
You introduced me to the ghetto gospel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Has the ghetto gospel been
growing? It's growing. I'm actually in the process of working on a visual album now. I don't know if you know, but I had a mixtape trilogy overdue, final notice, and I'm getting ready to drop Disconnected Equals Cut Off. And I've actually been holding on to it for a while now, like probably about 2 years. You know, I've been tricking the public saying like, yo, I'm gonna put it out, but I have not. But I know I'm finally ready now. And I was just sitting on, not necessarily sitting on it, but protecting it. I think protecting is a much better word. I was protecting it because I didn't want it to, you know, just be out there and get lost. You know, I don't even know how many artists is in y'all inbox, but I know it's a lot of people that's in y'all inbox to where you will lose it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't want to be one of those people. I want to be somebody like, oh no, I be seeing Johnny. And that's where I came up with the visual. Like, okay, if you want to be seen, be seen.
Facts.
You know, so everything visual with this album. I'm nervous about it, but I'm really excited because it's something that, like I said, I'm basically taking a different step at creating my own platform.
Do you think that different step is the reason, like, it got your nerves fluttering a bit?
Yes.
That is that is a good tactic, though. I like the way you broke that down. You say it's like pretty much a standout, and this one is a part of the trilogy as well?
Yeah. This will be the third and final. I actually never released something that I know I'm calling it a visual album, but I haven't released something that I consider like an album. You know, I call it like, oh, this is my mixtape, or this is my EP, you know what I mean? But you know, an album.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you know. Like,
man, now this is an album right here. So I think everything could be album worthy, but from my heart, it's like, nah, I had a mixtape trilogy, and I came in with a bang, for sure. I came in the game with a bang, and, you know, just to end this off, I want to go out with a bang, you know, and just escalate and take myself to the next level, because the next project after this, I definitely want to be what I consider my first album.
Yeah, that's great. We love to hear that.
Yeah, so. Thank you.
Talk about the evolution from the first project up until, you know, you still putting in work on the final installment of the trilogy.
Yeah, my girlfriend, Bree Nicole, we were in the car, and one random day, I don't know why, but she just started playing all of the songs like that I did. And we can get so caught up in just working so hard that we almost lose touch with the things that, you know, we have done and have released, once again, getting lost. You know, and to just go back to my, I would say 25-year-old self, 26-year-old self, like, you can hear the hunger. Like, I had a point to prove. You know what I mean? And just almost reattaching myself to that with this. You know what I mean? It's like, now I got something to prove to myself, to where it's like, nah, you not gonna get lost. You gonna do this. Can I cuss?
Yeah, do your shit.
That's what I was about to say. You gonna do this shit, and you gonna really make a way, not just for yourself, but a way for other people. You gonna pay it forward.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I want everybody to say, nah, I'm gonna do a visual album. I want this to be done. I want that to be done. Do I want to be the person to do it? Yeah, that's why I, protected. I keep my ideas close, but I still want to be an influence to people. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, the evolution is always kind of like getting back to self. In order to evolve, it's like you kind of get back to who you were in the first place.
Big fact.
If that makes sense. It's almost like an oxymoron. Yeah,
you speak.
You have to get back to who you really were, and it's like listening to that music and just hearing the grunt, like hearing the pen. It's like, oh no, you was hungry. You had a point to prove.
For sure.
And doing this kind of on a different dynamic. I'm not hungry for the same things anymore. You know what I mean? But taking the same approach, it's like, oh, okay. You got a point to prove.
Real talk.
So
and how the saying go, don't let the destination don't be so focused on the destination you forget about the journey.
Yes. Oh,
sure.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's definitely it sounds like a very moment of realization for you.
Yeah. And I like how you just put that. I've been on my fitness journey.
For sure.
And I become a take the stairs kind of person, and one thing I heard a wise sister say is don't always be so quick to take the elevator and shoot to the top, because it's something that you could possibly be blessed by on level 2. You know what I'm saying? That you didn't reach for just going straight up. Like sometimes you can gain a gem on level 2 if you would have took the stairs. It's blessing in that. So yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely got to learn to embrace the journey. You feel me? Because like you say, you never know what blessing is ahead of you when you taking shortcuts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You might miss out on a producer, a artist, somebody that can take you to the next level.
Or even just knowledge. Like you can go to the top and not even know what the fuck is going on. But because I done went to level 2, 3, and 4, it's like, oh no, I done learned the game now.
Yeah, I done bumped my head a couple times. I done learned from my mistakes.
Yo, do us a favor and yourself a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Make sure to tap that notification bell as well so you can stay updated. Now let's get to the video.
You discussed a little bit earlier in the interview and over break about your podcast, Chocolate City. Talk about your podcast and how everything has been forming along for you.
Yeah, so I just started Chocolate City with my very first couple of episodes. I think I'm up maybe about 4 episodes, almost close to 5. But I'm recording it with my boy 290 Mo.
For sure.
West Side. Y'all always have me out here in the dirty South, man. Always have me in the dirty South. But now I reside on the West Side, and this 290 Mo is somebody that I met out West, and just a real dope podcaster herself, just a content creator. And one day, me, my girl Bree Nicole, and also Treasure Nicole, we were all doing just like a promo run as well for Bree Nicole's March 6th show, R&B. And Mo was like, yeah, y'all could come up here and do podcasts. And it was like a light went off, like just this light bulb went off in all of us, like, oh, you for real? And ever since then, it's been like on the come up and really just rocking and rolling with Chocolate City. It's something that I just created for the artists. I'm an artist myself. We go through a lot as artists, and I ain't even got to get into it. But just know we go through a lot, but we put a lot of ourselves into what we do.
For sure.
It's required for us to invest so much of ourselves. And sometimes we can just get beat up. It's just like everybody needs us and everybody wants to use us as puppets and things like that. And when we're not the puppet, it's like, oh, well, fuck you. Y'all artists ain't shit. You can't do this and you need me. And it's like, nah. So I just wanted to create something where an artist can come and feel good about being an artist. And I'm a big Martin Lawrence fan. Super human, like a die-hard Martin Lawrence fan. My favorite comedian. I was watching Martin earlier. But in Thin Line Between Love and Hate, the club that he worked for was called Chocolate City.
Yeah.
So yeah. I went on ahead and tried to pay homage a little bit to Martin and recreated Chocolate City, and so far so good. I haven't released any episodes yet. I'm shooting for the first Sunday or the second Sunday in August, so real soon for the first episode.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Nah, since you spoke on Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Yes.
I watched it recently. You know what I'm saying? From an adult perspective.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, who was wrong? Was Martin wrong or was she wrong?
I actually just got asked this question on Chocolate City. I had Nanette on there. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with her, but I ended up explaining the same thing to her, and she asked me the same shit, like who was wrong, and I don't think I answered. I'm trying to avoid answering now. Ultimately, I'll say Martin was wrong. I'll say Martin was wrong because she kind of put it out there on who she was, Facts. You know, and why she couldn't be played with. Early and too. Yeah. I think maybe she could have used a little bit of therapy instead of, you know, just becoming so attached. I'm not going to say that she's flawless, you know, in the situation or not even flawless. I'm not going to say that she's a victim, you know, because she could have made different choices as well. But the person who, you know, just took the first cut, gotta say Martin. I ain't gonna lie. It was him.
Martin was wilding the fuck out.
He was wilding. And with Bobby Brown too, come on now. Come on now.
She was wild too. She left his shit on bricks in front of the police station. So, hey man, that was and I never knew that was Martin movie.
Oh yeah.
You feel he put up the budget, he did everything. Yeah. I was like, I ain't know that. You feel me? Yeah. So shout out to Martin. Now, do you think with artists, because you say y'all have to be seen and y'all have to be so much of more than just an artist nowadays, do you think social media is killing the I would say the creativity that it takes to be an artist, because you can't just focus on being a musician, you got to be a content creator and all these other things? Yeah,
I think it's definitely killing, I won't say the creativity, I would say the attention span. You know, if you think back to like prehistoric internet before it became what the internet is today, you could have an album that lasted like a year and people will still be calling it, you know, like the new album or something. Like, you heard that new album, you got the, let's play the album. You know, you will get one song or something like that really lasts, but it's just because everything is, you know, like kind of on top of each other, you know, and that could be marketing for money. You know, it used to be a time where you could put your shit out and it does numbers naturally. Now they will block it, you know, to where your own friends can't even see it. You'll be, I was like, did you see this? Half of your friends would be like, oh yeah, I saw that shit was dope. And the other half would be like, no, I didn't see it. And that's because they're blocking it because they want you to pay. It's a business. It's money. So I think with all of that, it could be killing the attention span of like people. You ain't even gonna watch a video for longer than 30 seconds. That's why shorts have become so popular. You know what I mean? It's like, 45 seconds. It's because our attention span is not what it used to be.
We used to watch the TV guide for like 5 minutes. And to pick a show now, like if somebody go and watch a TV guide from like 2003 right now, they'll be cooked. They're like, man, I'm finna just channel
just to see the shit go up. It's going slow as hell. For real, you know. Real. I would say the only person like within this generation, within this day and age that I see that has that like type of success that we talking about back in the day success is SZA.
For sure.
My bitch came through and she killed that. She killed it. Like been number one. I don't know if she's still number one, but with her last album, it was number one for 52 weeks.
For sure.
Facts. It was. So just to have that type of longevity is not like that no more. You might get one song, but it was her album. Snooze was the big one, you know.
Yeah.
But just the album, you know, itself was super duper successful, and it has like a sense of longevity to it. So that's what I'm reaching for again, and that's why I want to, you know, do the visual album and just take my time with things, you know, but still release different things, you know, about what I'm doing just to keep people engaged. But you know, sometimes you got to trick the mind a little bit.
That's facts. I think I think a lot of that too, like with the whole artists have to be content creators and like digital marketers and stuff. I think a lot of that has to play with teams as well, like for one, SZA was a great example of that, you know. But her backing her team, like almost every artist on her label, the major artist, I think Kendrick left with his last album, but Schoolboy Q, he had a great run. SZA had like, she's 2 albums in? She had like 2 great runs with Control and SOS. You know, Isaiah Rashad, Absol. Like, I feel like it depends on really who backing you. You know, for a long time, a lot of consumers got comfortable with the content game. You know what I'm saying? They still comfortable with it now, but I think that quality, when it's time to lay it down, I think that's gonna catch on to who would catch on to now. Algorithm wise, it's hard to beat, but you can't beat good quality. You know what I'm saying?
You cannot. You can only hide it.
Exactly.
You can only hide it to where like you didn't see that. You know, so they gonna want you to put you put $50 on this for promotion. We'll put it in the algorithm. You know what I mean? And then it'll be some people that just buy the views. You know what I mean? Instead of putting their $50 towards being put back in the algorithm so everybody can see it, I'm just gonna buy the 50,000 views to make it look like people seeing my shit, and they got 2 likes.
I was just gonna say the likes don't match up.
Right. Ain't nobody interacting with you. Like,
right.
I get the paying for promo. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But paying for views and paying for plays, like, that doesn't help you as an artist, because you will never know who your true fan base is. You will never build a true fan base. You feel me? Because you got streaming farms running your numbers up, but they not real. Like, you don't have anything solid or tangible behind your music. Like, how you gonna shop that anywhere?
And it'll be like some comments and shit that come through that'll be like, nice work, fam. Go ahead, bro. And it's like, that's a bot, G. That's not nobody comments and that shit. So I definitely don't want to be a part of that, you know. But as far as getting myself in the algorithm, I put some money on it to where it's like, okay, well, at least people can see it, you know. At least it's popping up in your timeline as sponsored now. Yeah, I sponsored it, but hey, at least you can see it, versus me putting it out there thinking that all of my friends can see it and only a portion of them can, because they want the rest in money, you know. So
I think for a visual album, to be honest, like, to have like, so say if like one of your videos just run as an ad, I think that's like literally perfect to do.
Yeah,
because
me too.
You're gonna just scroll and it's like, shoot, like, think of other companies that do it, like Budweiser, McDonald's. They all run ads for videos. You know what I'm saying? So it really wouldn't be no different if you was to run it with your visual album.
Yeah, same. I agree. That's why I believe that it's a good idea. You know, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, well, you know, if you don't have 500 likes in 5 minutes, then you a failure. It's like, baby, no. You know. So yeah, I definitely will put the money up there to reach that, you know, for as long as it's organic, as long as it makes sense. I'm not just paying for no fake shit, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people confuse like a sponsor post or playing Facebook and Instagram to promote they product or song, you know, like that still is organic, because you're putting yourself in front of eyes that have never seen you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if they like that, that's an organic like. They came across your content and they liked it. Yeah. And more than likely, they gonna go to your page. They may not follow off the first rip, but they gonna scroll through your shit. So like, I think that's valuable, and I don't think a lot of artists understand, like, bro, I could take $100 and do this. $100 a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's better than just doing nothing.
I think a lot of people are looking for instant gratification. They're looking for an immediate return. You know, they're looking for ROI. Just and you didn't even invest. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, if you gon' have a return, you gotta have something that you invest in. You know, like, you can go to the studio, and this is probably why artists can get a hard time, because you can go to the studio and not want to pay. You know what I mean? You can go to different platforms and not want to pay, and I want to put this up, and just think that you are worth it. Like, oh, my shit is worth it. And I was just talking about this yesterday. I'm getting out of the know your worth phase of my life. You can know you're worthy. You can know that you're worthy off of your potential. You're worthy of the world. You're worthy to have whatever the fuck you want to have. If it's $1 million, if it's a Bentley, if it's this, all the shoes, all the clothes, all the women, you're worthy of having what you want to have. Are you worth it though? Probably not, because you didn't do shit to earn it. Yeah. You don't come in this world worth shit. Like, you haven't earned anything. You haven't worked for it. You, even your own gift, how much of your time and yourself do you put into self-improvement? You can put some shit out and be like, da 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 da, and that's the same shit you said on the last beat that didn't do no numbers anyway. You know what I mean? Like, what did you take from that to actually improve yourself? That's what makes you worth it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting away from the know your worth and know you're worthy. And that's why it's like, okay, well, now I actually will invest. You know, before I look for a return of investment, like, I will have to make this investment in order to be worth it.
Hey, we getting the gospel this Sunday.
Praise the Lord.
and I think that's a perfect segue into All For Me.
All for
what
me.
You think?
Yeah. I think it's great too.
Go ahead.
Great transition.
That record for us.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Quaalude. I went to high school with the producer of this song, and I kind of just Debo, like, gangstered my way into the beat, and he allowed me to do it. So thank you. And I'm also using it as the theme song for my brand new podcast, Chocolate City.
For those who don't know, you know what I'm saying. If this is a chance to classify, you know, you're called the Queen of Ghetto Gospel.
Yes.
But give us a breakdown on what's Ghetto Gospel and, like, what it takes to classify as that.
So anybody who, you know me and know my music and stuff like that, know I come with the soul. I come with the gospel sound. I grew up in church. I always say I'm an alto to the death of me, baby. I was in the choir. I was a leader in the choir, but, you know, I also come from the trenches in a way, you know what I'm saying, where I grew up spiritual and religious, but I grew up, you know, hood as fuck.
On that
you
car.
know what I'm saying? Right, on that car type shit. And it was my family, you know what I'm saying, that was on that car. So I think it's just really like a dual perspective of me. A dual perspective of who I am, because it could be this one side that is like, oh, well, you know, I'm gonna pray for you, and then it's the other side. We're like, all right, baby, calm down. You all right, Johnny? You cool? So, yeah. I think it's basically just a perfect definition of who I am, and it'll take a bit of getting to know me to know that.
How much of where you're from, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, the toughness of Chicago has molded you as a woman and as an artist?
I would say 50%. Once again, just like half of it is like going through a lot and seeing a lot, experiencing a lot, watching people that I know and love experience a lot. A lot of my music is based around relatability, you know, so it could be something that I went through. It could be something that I witnessed. You know what I'm saying? My sister go through it. My bro go through. My family had to go through this. So I think a lot of that molds me into who I am, not just off of experience, but off of witnessing as well.
Man, I feel like we live in the most beautiful city in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
Where you can, regardless of what side of the city you go to, you're gonna get a different experience.
For sure.
I would say, in my past couple years, you feel me, I've been experiencing the city a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, and it's been giving me a better perspective, you know what I'm saying, on what it takes to grow in a city like Chicago.
Yeah.
Because growing up in the trenches, you know, we tend to stick in the trenches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of us are confined with the mindset that we have of, you know, it's gonna be hell to make it up out this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, when you get to going downtown and you get to exploring the city, you get to sitting in front of the water, you know what I'm saying, then you be like, man, it ain't that bad.
It's not,
you know
as bad as it's made out to be.
I need to put myself out there a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? That's my perspective on these things.
Yeah. I actually went to school up north. I went to Von Steuben High School. For a spell, I went to Chicago State College. I stayed out west. I worked downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And my girl is from the east side. So it's like I've experienced all, you know, like I got a chance to see all. Like even when it comes to the outer suburbs, it's not a suburb that I haven't performed in. You know what I mean? So like I give myself enough perspective to actually see. And one thing about me is like, one thing I like to say about me is like, I want to see the whole pie. Like, don't just show me this piece of the pie that I was served. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see the whole pie and where my piece fits in, you know? And I think that's what really shapes me to be the person that I am today, is just having different experiences and learning how to have an open mind with that. Because you can work downtown, go to school over here, do this over here, love somebody over here, but it's like you can still come back to this, and it's like that's where your perspective is. I think it's up to us to gain that open mind. We probably not born with it based off of programming, you know what I'm saying, and how we were taught. A lot of that shit we gotta unlearn for real. You know what I mean? But once you do unlearning, and it's like you take off the glasses, and it's like, man, I can see the forest for the trees now. It's like, oh no, I could do anything.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this question a couple times, and I'm supposed to get a different answer every time.
Okay.
If you can go back and give your younger self any advice, what would it be?
Hopefully I'm giving myself or giving you a different answer, but I would just say take yourself seriously. You know, learn to be open-minded. Learn to learn, you know, and not just be taught, not just be instructed, but learn to actually learn shit for what it is. No matter who you learning from, get a second opinion, get a third opinion. You know what I mean? Take yourself seriously, take your craft seriously, and actually learn the game. Don't just let somebody teach you the game and say, oh no, I gave you. No, you learn. You know what I mean? Learn for yourself. And shit, pay it forward no matter what. Like if you see somebody that's coming up behind you or coming up under you, give them the game. Just as somebody else you will want somebody to do for you. Pay that shit forward. Be a vessel so the blood can continue to flow.
Man, I love the last part that you just said. Pay it forward.
Yeah.
Man, if everybody had that mindset, I don't think we'd have, you know, as much turmoil in the world as we have now. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times I'm not going to say most people look at somebody struggling and laugh. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's some shit that we was taught when we was kids. We was some evil ass little kids.
For sure.
What I'm saying? But I just love that because we have to help each other. That's the only way it go. Before money was involved, it was the barter system. You feel me? We had to help each other. I had something that you needed. You had something that I needed. We had to work together to get to where we was going. So that was just beautiful, man. Before we get out of here, man, anything else you want to say to the people?
Hey, tune in to Chocolate City. Is dropping first Sunday or second Sunday in August, so it's coming very, very soon. Set a reminder, set the date, baby. Visual album Disconnected Equals Cut Off is on its way. I ain't gonna put a date on it, but just know I got something for that ass. And in Vogue, I dropped. So I recorded in Vogue probably about 5 years ago or something like that. Dropped it 5 years ago. I recorded a video to it. Let's just say it was a childhood friend of mine. He played the shit out of my ass. You know what I mean? I got a little discouraged and I decided to move on, but I backtracked. Not necessarily to say backtrack, but I went back to pick up what I dropped. You know what I'm saying? And I just re-recorded the video. I know it's going to be a smash. Shout out to Black Tie. Shout out to Alicia Dior. Shout out to Space Jam Mello, my homegirl Tila Breeze, Creative Minds. They all helped me out with this. I got that coming soon. So y'all just keep your eye out on me. I got something. It's all for y'all. It's all to pay it forward. So, and shout out to my baby girl out there, Bree Nikhil. It's her birthday coming up on July 31st. She been getting on my damn nerves. We'll talk about that later.
Be like that.
But I love her to death, though. Happy birthday, baby.
All right, tell the people how they can get in tune with you, stay in tune with you, find everything you got going on.
Yeah, find me everywhere at Johni Demeatri, regardless of if it's social media or music platforms. You can find me on anything, everything at Johni Demeatri. I'm getting back into my website, which is JohnnyDemeatrimusic.com, where I'm going to try to post everything that I'm doing there, from the podcast to all my videos to the visual album. Johni Demeatri is hard to spell.
It sound like it's spelled. Honestly,
it is right. It's meat, right? But look, JohniDemeatri, Johni Demeatri. Spell that right. Find me anywhere.
All right, Jimmy, talk to the people.
For sure. Hey, shout out, I guess, Johni Demeatri for coming through.
Thank you.
Thank you for sliding through. We appreciate you. The whole time, like towards the end of this interview, I was just thinking, like, damn, I gotta go back and watch our first interview. Like, this was a great interview.
Thank you so much.
For sure. So I gotta watch it because I feel like this is gonna be like one of those interviews. You got a starting point, then it's gonna keep building up. Then we're gonna have another interview somewhere down the line.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be back, man.
Sure. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. But shout out to you first and foremost for coming through.
Thank you.
Just shining light on everything that you got going on, and I like the way you got it set out. It sounds like you replayed what you want to do. It sounds like you learned something down the road with your artistry. Now you just got like a new approach, and it sounds like a fun approach.
Yes.
You spoke on being nervous, but sometimes being nervous might lead to a lot of fun once those nerves release.
Yeah.
So best of luck to you on your endeavors.
Thank you.
And everything you got going on. No, thank you once again. We appreciate it for sure. But everybody tuning in, man. Make sure y'all get in tune with Johni Demeatri, Chocolate City Podcast. Where can we find that podcast? Is it on like Spotify, iHeartRadio?
So you'll be able to find it everywhere that you listen to your podcast. But this is a question that I want to publicly ask y'all. So I'm in between like creating a special, page for Chocolate City. And I don't know if I should just start off with that and just right off the bat just do it with Chocolate City, or if I should do it with the platform that I've already created and build it up from there. And then once the buzz gets to buzzing, then I create the page, because I haven't created it yet and I've been wrestling with that.
I think you should create the page. You feel me? Especially if you're gonna do it eventually down the road.
Yeah.
But you, Johni Demeatri, the artist, and Chocolate City, two totally different things.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? They should live on their own. And you never know. One might grow faster than the other. Yeah. But what's special about Instagram, you can collab. You know what I'm saying? So you can always collab both pages together. I would definitely say create the podcast page and let the podcast just live on its own. Because you're not gonna always be talking music. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be on there singing and all that. You're gonna be out on there being honest. You know what I'm saying? Just like in this conversation. And I think more artists should actually get into creating their own podcast. I was listening to I think Draymond Green. He was saying younger athletes shouldn't be creating podcasts. They should. That's how you build your brand. You know what I'm saying? People can learn who you are through your music, but they can also learn who you are just by saying some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Most of the stuff that I post from the radio aren't me asking people questions. It's me saying some real shit in between asking people questions. You know what I'm saying? So I would say definitely let those two live on their own.
For sure. I received that 1,000%. Thank you.
So there's plenty of ways though, but definitely start that podcast page though.
Got to. All right. I received that. Thank y'all.
No problem. But yeah, everybody make sure y'all get in tune with Johni Demeatri. I'm pretty sure we had that podcast up and running soon. Whenever that drop though, send that our way. We definitely want to check you out for sure.
Yeah, you already know.
For sure. And make sure y'all follow Ill Sound Radio, iLLSOUND Radio. Download that iLLANOiZE app and follow me, Groove Nuke, GROOVNUKE. And Jay, what you got to say to him?
Man, salute to you, Johnny.
Thank you.
I've literally seen your growth and evolution throughout the
Same,
years.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I really don't even remember how we connected. I don't know if I reached out to you or you reached out to me.
Yeah.
But somehow, you feel me, we connected. And like I say, you invited me into your house. You feel me? We sat down. We had a dope interview. You played me some music. Was that your auntie?
Yeah, my aunt. Yeah,
the auntie came through. You feel me? So it was a dope vibe. You know what I'm saying? And we've been growing ever since. Yeah. So this, you know how easy this is. You know what I'm saying? Door always open for you whenever you got anything you want to talk about. Chop it up about. You feel me? iLLANOiZE Radio, Ill Sound Radio. You feel me? It's your home. You feel me?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You feel me? So, man, salute to you. Everything you got going on, man. I already want you to be the biggest. So I can be like, hey, man, I interviewed her. I don't know if I was first, but I'm gonna say I was.
Hey, we already reaching the top for sure. Thank y'all so much for allowing me to be here, but also just being, at this point, mentors in the game. Somebody that I can look to and say like, okay, well, this is how they do their show. You know what I mean? And it's always positive. It ain't no bullshit. You can come and be yourself.
Never that.
And
always.
like, yeah, it's always good vibes up here, man. So thank y'all for teaching a person that don't know shit about running the show, like how to at least provide a good vibe for sure.
For sure. What you say, pay it forward.
Pay it forward, man. Thank you.